everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I really love talking about, and I'm always having arguments with people on this subject. It's kind of a tricky one. People have different opinions about it, but they know little to nothing about the real source and the real casualties of jealousy. Jealousy is an emotion that we do feel throughout our lives, and I think the worst thing that happened with jealousy is actually that we started confusing jealousy with love. And I don't really think jealousy is love. The reason why I actually thought about making this video is a new book that I'm reading at the moment. Well, I'm not reading, I'm listening to it. It's on Audible. I'm not paid to represent it or to say anything about it, but I found it really interesting because even though I had my opinions about jealousy a long time ago, and I read a lot of books, especially the books on polyamory that dealt with the subject, I never actually thought about people not being prone to jealousy since, you know, the birth of time or the birth of human species. But the book is, let me just tell you what's the name of the book. It's called Sex at Dawn: How We Mate, Why We Stray, and What It Means for the Modern Relationships. The book kind of goes all the way to the prehistory and deals with the, you know, prehistoric human tribes and how sex, love, and relationship function there. And we always thought that Homo sapiens is actually a really jealous and a greedy animal, and it kind of stretched it out through books, through movies and everything. The book also deals with the subject of sexual monogamy and are we really as human beings monogamous, and if we are, why is it so hard to be monogamous? I'm not going to talk about polyamory in this video. I'm not going to talk about whether being polyamorous is right or wrong. You know, like it's kind of like a pair of shoes. It doesn't fit everyone. So talking about polyamory, monogamy, or what is right and what is wrong, it's a personal preference. But jealousy isn't. I've seen jealousy destroying so many relationships. Jealousy is no different than greed. Basically, being jealous of someone, of something, means it kind of signifies the lack of something. So if it's like a certain possession, or if it's a certain thing, it's easy to kind of see what kind of emotions pop out here. If it's like, I don't know, someone has something that you would like to have and you don't have, and you're jealous of that person having it, it's kind of feeling the lack of that thing. But if we're talking about human being, what is jealousy really? What are we really lacking? Is it the self-confidence? Is it the self-esteem? Is it, what are we truly lacking? Why do we need to know that someone is truly ours to feel safe? Why is that so? I don't understand it completely. And you know, like when we were children, if we had brothers and sisters, we kind of knew how to share things. There were like little fights and little jealousy thingies, but generally, like, most of the families get along pretty good. Why in kind of romantic relationships we feel so jealous? I read about jealousy in a couple of books. I'm gonna tell you the names of the books. I actually have them here on the table, and I think even if you're monogamous, if you're planning to stay monogamous until the end of your life, you should deal with the issue of jealousy, and you should see how you can transcend that feeling or even turn it into something better. Because, you know, toxic jealousy is not great. I've seen people doing mad and crazy stuff out of jealousy. I've seen people hurting each other, and we all read about people that actually killed someone because of jealousy. Even their own families, their own kids, you know, like, is this really what makes us human? Is this really what love is? being crazy jealous and threatening to hurt someone. So the first two books I'm going to show you are actually books that are great for polyamorous people if you have any issues with jealousy. First of them is More Than Two. It's a practical guide to ethical polyamory. It's a great book. It's kind of thick as well. It's a lot of information. It's not about jealousy only. There's a lot of stuff here. I would recommend it anyways. Then we have The Ethical Slut. I'm always reading stuff from this book. I really love it. It's kind of easygoing as well, so it's an easy book to read, and it has their chapter about jealousy. So, you know, really good book to read. If you are planning to stay monogamous, I would say Esther Perel is amazing. The book is called Mating in Captivity. I really love Esther Perel. She's so open-minded to everything, and whatever you are, whatever you feel, you know, she's gonna make you feel like everything's all right with you. So a nice and easy book to read as well. And if you want to stay monogamous, if monogamy is your thing, this is the book for you. What is my personal experience with jealousy? I wasn't born very jealous. I don't know why is that, but I have never had this toxic jealousy in me. Like, I'm a very, I'd say, very reasonable human being, and if I would encounter any kind of, you know, stuff that would make me jealous, I would come and talk with the person that actually made me feel this way. If it was in the family, I would always kind of express my feelings of jealousy, and I would actually talk with people, and I would try to get kind of, you know, comfort and, you know, feedback from people, and, you know, I would ask them, does this mean you don't, you know, like me anymore? Does this mean you don't love me anymore? And usually people would be very generous with explanations. You know, they would say, no, this doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. This is like either, you know, my need, or I'm kind of finding fulfillment in this. And the thing I was trying to do with all my friends and with all my partners is kind of, you know, for me, true love is helping someone reach their full potential. And I'm asking you now, how can you help someone reach their full potential if you're jealous? Either if you're jealous of their, you know, other people that are around this person, or either you're jealous of their success, or either you're jealous of, you know, their belongings or whatever. How can you help this human being become a better person than he or she is if you're constantly trying to put them down? This is what most relationships kind of turn out to be. You know, people are trying to put each other down, so, you know, the other person can keep being better than the other one, and with being better than the other person, you can keep that person with you, or you feel more safe. You know, if you have a partner and you help him become successful, if you help him become beautiful, you know, better looking, a lot of people don't want to do that because they feel as if their partner would become better looking, better in any kind of aspect of their life, they would dump them. But you know what this says about you? It says that you don't feel confident enough with you. And, you know, actually you cannot have life where you're going to be confident about everything. And sometimes it's just going to be a matter of day. There will be days when you feel, you know, more confident about yourself, and there are going to be days when you feel less confident about yourself. But in general, you know, like, you cannot let this rot and destroy your relationship. It's the same with a lot of men, you know, because throughout the history, recent history of the humankind, females were possession of men. So, you know, in a manner, they wanted to keep their females close to them, because then they would be certain of their paternity. You know, they would be certain if the child that a woman is carrying is theirs. And that was something very important for men, although I don't really realize why. So they would keep females as belongings, and this kind of stick to the minds of men, I think. And females kind of manipulated men into, keeping them close. They would cry a lot, and then men would, feel kind of, oh my gosh, she's crying, I can't hurt her. Even I was talking with my own father, and he told me that he had such a hard time with dumping girls that he didn't like anymore because they were crying and they were like threatening with suicide. And he had an idea of how he would like to live his life, and a lot of times he would kind of he would give up on the idea on how to live his own life because someone else was crying and trying to take their lives in front of them. I think a lot of relationship nowadays are very toxic, and jealousy is one of the pillars of toxicity, I think. Jealousy is literally saying that you are not confident enough to deal with something. There are of course examples of jealousy when jealousy, I wouldn't say it's jealousy anymore in those instances. For example, if someone is cheating on you and he's not trying even to hide it, and if someone is abusing you, this is not jealousy anymore. This is stepping into the victim's role and kind of playing it out. It's not jealousy. Jealousy is when you're feeling something about someone that is not firmly, stuck into the ground, that is not firmly down there, in reality. We as human beings should talk about what we want and what are our expectations of relationships. A lot of people enter relationships out of the idea that, someone's gonna fix them through this relationship, and that's never what's gonna happen. I've seen so many relationships fail because people would actually get together because they thought their partner is gonna fix them. Life and evolution and like human species wouldn't be here now if we were waiting for someone to fix us. It would happen along the way. The thing that people do is they kind of feel guilty. If you step into polyamory, or if you step into any kind of non-monogamy, or if you even make a decision that you will stop being jealous, you might feel bad if jealousy appears in you. I'm gonna tell you, jealousy is a perfect place for you to stop and ask yourself, what am I lacking? What am I lacking here so I don't feel jealous anymore? If it's like a promise from another person to be faithful to you, take it, but ask yourself, why would you need someone to be that completely faithful to you? If it's a work on yourself to, I don't know, if your man, if your woman is looking at other people and you kind of feel threatened, ask yourself, what do these people have that I don't have, and how can I implement that in my life? Maybe I already have it, I'm just not aware of that. You can ask feedback from other people. I mean, working on jealousy, it's such a rewarding thing. Being toxically jealous, it's saying a lot about your self-esteem, and working on self-esteem is a lifelong investment. It's never gonna stop, and but you need to start somewhere. Listening to this book, Sex at Dawn, I kind of realized that we as human beings haven't really evolved in a matter of relationships and in a matter of emotional, connection, that we actually deteriorated. And the way, Homo sapiens in history stuck together and took care of each other and in a way, helped each other, even with maternity, even with struggles, the way they shared food that they found. Nowadays there's a lot of jealousy because it's certainly a feeling that it's not craziness. If you have barely anything to eat and you see someone driving the brand new car, you're gonna feel angry. You're gonna feel like, why is the world not fair? Why do I don't have anything? You know, you're gonna be jealous of people. And this kind of inequality in the world has caused us to feel like, you know, we're lacking something. But the lack is just, you know, the lack is not really there. You're not lacking anything. You know, you can literally make yourself into anything that you want, and jealousy doesn't need to be your constant emotion that you're feeling. You know, it can be fixed. But every time when you feel it, you need to see, what are you lacking? What is the lack that you're feeling, and how can you actually fill up that empty part of you? Guys, if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel and like this video, and also consider becoming my Patreon. I really love you all, and I'll see you next time at the same place. Bye bye.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future